Hey guys, this is Jeff, and man, has it been a tough week for me personally, for lots of you out there, certainly for our nation, as we walk through the aftermath of the death of George Floyd. For me, it's been, I think, especially tough because I lived out there for a couple of years. Some of you know that, some of you don't. I moved here to Maryland 3 years ago, but I moved from St. Paul, Minnesota, where I'd lived for a couple years. And on one hand, I fell in love with the Twin Cities. There's some beauty to that area. There's some unique culture to that area that me and my family really fell in love with. And on the other hand, we were able to see firsthand the systemic injustice that so many are bringing to light right now. We saw it firsthand, and as well as I can, I get it. My heart is it's just broken right now. First and foremost, for the friends and for the family of George Floyd, who aren't going to get to see their friend, their family member again. Also, my heart is broken for people of color in Minneapolis and St. Paul and really all around our nation who are just walking through it full of emotion right now and full of the understanding of the injustice that exists out there. And my heart breaks also for Minneapolis, for cities all around our country that right now are just reeling and being torn apart by violence and division. So when this kind of stuff happens, one of the things that I always think is, oh God, where are you? What are you doing? And have you left us any kind of instruction for this kind of a time period? It's so easy to feel very alone in this time. And of course, the logical part of my brain says, no, God has not left us alone. And He's, of course, provided us instruction. And He has. And one of the real key ones we find in the Bible, it's in a book called Romans, a letter written by Paul to churches in Rome in our New Testament. And in chapter 12, verse 15, he says to mourn with those who mourn. And there's a whole lot of people in mourning right now. That's a great instruction for followers of Jesus to be able to live out, to mourn with those who mourn. But what does it mean? How can you be a good mourner? Well, I've got 4 tips to give you on how to be a good mourner so that you can mourn with those who mourn right now. Tip number 1, just be present in the lives of people who mourn. In the Bible, in the Old Testament, there's a guy named Job who experiences tremendous loss. And he's got 3 friends. And the first thing those 3 friends do when they find out about Job's loss is they come and they sit with him for 7 days. And they don't say a thing. They're just present with their friend. I think that's really the first tip to being a good mourner in times like these, is just be present with people. In fact, it's really only when his friends open their mouths that they moved from good mourners to not so good friends. And that brings me to tip number 2, and that is don't try to fix your friend. There's a whole lot of things that we can be working on as a nation right now to work towards the inequalities and systemic injustice out there, and to work to fix those problems. We should try to work to fix systems, but we don't want to fix our friends. We don't want to try to give them one line or one truism from the Bible that's going to make them better, or point out ways that they're not thinking of this quite right. That is not helpful to those who are mourning. So don't try to fix your friends. Number 3, if you don't understand what your friend is going through, just ask. Ask questions and then listen. Receive what they have to give to you. You don't want to argue, you don't want to debate. Just ask questions and listen. So be present. Don't try to fix them. Ask questions and listen. And finally, pray. Pray with them and pray for them. Now, it's in times like these that oftentimes I really don't understand even where to begin with my prayers. And I like to turn to the book of Psalms during those times. There's 150 prayers in there. There's a good chance that whatever I'm going through, whatever I'm thinking, there's probably a prayer in here that I can start with. And in this case, there's a whole lot of them. I'm looking at Psalm 10 right now, which is written by a guy who was looking around his culture and not liking what he's seeing. He sees all kinds of injustice, and he's crying out to God about it. It goes like this, Psalm 10, O Lord, why do you stand so far away? Why do you hide when I'm in trouble? The wicked arrogantly hunt down the poor. Let them be caught in the evil they plan for others, for they brag about their evil desires. They praise the greedy and curse the Lord. The wicked are too proud to seek God. They seem to think that God's dead, yet they succeed in everything they do. They don't see your punishment awaiting them. They sneer at all their enemies. They think nothing bad will ever happen to us. We'll be free of trouble forever. Their mouths are full of cursing, lies, and threats. Trouble and evil are on the tips of their tongues. They lurk in ambush in the villages, waiting to murder innocent people. They're always searching for helpless victims. Like lions crouching and hiding, they wait to pounce on the helpless. Like hunters, they capture the helpless and drag them away in nets. Their helpless victims are crushed. They fall beneath the strength of the wicked. The wicked think God isn't watching us. He has closed his eyes and won't even see what we do. Arise, O Lord. Punish the wicked, O God. Do not ignore the helpless. Why do the wicked get away with despising God? They think God will never call us to account. But you see the trouble and grief they cause. You take note of it and punish them. The helpless put their trust in you. You defend the orphans. Break the arms of these wicked, evil people. Go after them until the last one is destroyed. The Lord is king forever and ever. The godless nations will vanish from the land. Lord, you know the hopes of the helpless. Surely you will hear their cries and comfort them. You will bring justice to the orphans and the oppressed, so mere people can no longer terrify them. I love this psalm because so much of it is what I feel right now, that say, God, why aren't you just acting and taking care of these people? And I love that what the Bible teaches is we don't have to get it all right and polish and sanitize. I mean, he's even prayed that God breaks people's arms, which, if I'm honest, is kind of close to what I'm feeling in my heart. So this week, mourn with those who mourn. Be present with them. Don't try to fix them. Ask questions if you don't understand, and pray with and for them. I hope next week when I talk to you, it's in a whole lot better circumstances. Bye-bye.